This is the race committee. The wind sampling is complete, and this race will start on schedule.
So for both teams, the pressure just ramped up a notch, and we're heading into the start box. 2 minutes and 10. It will be INEOS Britannia on port. 2 minutes. It will be Alinghi Red Bull Racing on starboard.
So much at stake in this race for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Years of work, millions of dollars. It has all come down to this.
Anytime. Or down. She move. On. Move. Standing here. Hi, well. Hailing on exit. Did we get here? Yeah, great. Two. All the way. Fine, get board.
INEOS Britannia aiming in at the port entry at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. They'll get the green light. You'll see the bar light up, and there it is. They are good to go. A little bit late into the box. 2 minutes. It will be Alinghi Red Bull Racing, waiting for the green light. Green light is good and go, and we are into this very, very important sixth race.
Massive pin bias. Okay, clear to giant. Hold on, two.
The British team here going into a spin, so they'll be basically circling around to put pressure on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Must-win race here for the Swiss team to stay in the competition.
55, little pressure here.
Really changeable conditions. They've got to be eyes out the boat.
40.
Still some big holes in this breeze, so they have to be on their toes here.
25. Pressure here. 1. Fall down.
You want to go down? Yeah, go fast.
They are going down. They are not attacking.
Backing up slightly.
They are not attacking. 10. Killing 10. Not passing behind now. 20 dots.
Got the Swiss team quite early here,
yeah,
Shirley.
very early.
A lot of time to kill there.
6.
Light breeze, also only seeing 8 knots in the start box.
They are attacking behind us. Your call is
They're killing a lot of time, the Swiss, so the British still early, even from where they are, so they'll be looking to build speed. Put a lot of pressure on the Swiss team here.
Should be good here. That's in the line.
19.
Access now. Okay, great to be on boys. 50. A little bit of
It is open by 4.
Left-hand bias on the start. Could work out well for the Swiss.
2. 1. And racing.
It is on race 6 in the Louis Vuitton Cup Final Series between INEOS Britannia and Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Great start from Switzerland, 5 meters back from the start line and going fast.
They wanted that pin end, and they did a good job just to not overshoot.
I think we'll be protected in the boundary. Max, lower now. 20. Little pressure building.
Big left phase at the moment.
Let's drop again.
No tack in at the moment. Okay, best speed for the tack. Right.
Very light.
2.
1. Ball's going down. Bashan. And
down.
The Swiss have to be careful.
Non, vraiment en mode attaque before.
Attack here. Oh, and they've entered the foil.
Press.
That's a huge loss for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Pressure on INEOS Britannia. A really slow attack there by the Swiss team.
Pressure coming back. Okay, happy to go now.
Advantage INEOS Britannia now. Big speed build for the Swiss.
Okay. Little pressure coming on the left. Little pressure here.
Level for now.
Going to chase there, and Pete, how about that for a start, and how about a moment for Alinghi?
Yeah, good start by Alinghi, but unfortunately they came unstuck in the attack, and that has given the advantage to INEOS. Look, the conditions, it's tricky. Looking at the sky, it's still down south, it's quite dark, and I think that will drag the wind around to the right-hand side. It wouldn't surprise me to see a big wind shift at some stage in this race.
Yeah, currently the breeze is in the left. If you're at Alinghi Red Bull Racing, you just got to hang in that spot as long as you can. Massive lift, 20 degrees.
pressing. Yep, still good lefty here, I think. Hey?
Dylan Fletcher
32. Yeah,
just holding the left hand down on that steering wheel and squeezing the Swiss team off there. So
it looks good this way to me right now. Okay.
the Swiss having to
Chip
clear
it
their
back
air.
right a little bit now. You will not get delayed. Looking for attack here. I think 2-0. Stand by.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate, shifting the course axis to 090.
Okay.
Pressure here.
Nice clean tack on INEOS Britannia there. They'll be happy with that.
Good pressure between us and the windward gate. Yeah, nice there. Looking 32s.
Alinghi really needing to pull off this tack Shirley cleanly on this left-hand boundary to keep in the game here.
Pressure 2, 1, forward. Attention on our left, pressure. Otterboard.
There's jeopardy in every manoeuvre. The Swiss team just need to keep it tight, stay as close as they can to INEOS.
We're crossing here, all good. As in the windward gate. Pressure on here.
Not at the speed yet.
So the British there deciding to just carry on to that lay line, which is not far away, so deciding not to tack in front of Alinghi there and reduce one manoeuvre and take the gain by just being able to do one tack and then go through the gate.
Board 2, 1, made. Turning. Quite well. 2, 1, and board. Yeah, push. I think level for now.
Nice clean tack there on INEOS Britannia, so they'll be winding up their speed and hoping to lay that right mark.
Potential left. Yeah. Pressing. Going to be left-handed. Just keep the speed on. Keeping the speed on.
And they've sailed into a bit of a righty there, so gains back to the Swiss, and the British they're going to have to do another manoeuvre as well. So advantage Switzerland here. Nothing in this race.
INEOS Britannia about to go around the mark at the top gate for the first time. Is this one leg closer to the Louis Vuitton Cup final? Alinghi Red Bull Racing would like to have a say about that as they follow the leader.
Quite slow, good same angle at there. The mark. Happy to clear from the mark. Pretty light, quite step by jibe. Yeah.
Get a jibe in. Push. Trap here. Your trap. Oh, your trap. My trap, copy. They're just above our line. I think we beat them to it here. Yeah, any time here. Stand by. And board down here. My trap.
Down. Are yours?
Simultaneous jibes there by both boats, so
1, more going up. Happy to stay high for the pressure. Happy to stay high. Stay high.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.3 miles.
the Swiss will roll the British here, straight round the bow. Slow jibe by the British and a lead change.
Can I roll?
Let's look at the pressure.
Very good sailing from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They stayed high, got into new pressure, and used it well.
And it's just getting hung up on a little bit of a bad swell there. Super tricky conditions. Very nice job by the Swiss team there.
So first downward leg in race 6 of this Louis Vuitton Cup Semi-Final. And Alinghi Red Bull Racing are fighting for survival. They have the lead at this point.
How's the breeze here? Battered here. Stand by.
Good speed in this light conditions. Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Really quite nimble.
Swiss have launched themselves out of that jibe and taken a really healthy lead there, so need to execute this jibe cleanly.
Back up in mine 2, 1 and bottom. Nice, good pressure. Holding here.
Just having a look at the jibe there from INEOS, and loss of the rudder there, getting hooked up on the back of a swell. And that big ventilation of that rudder, pulling the brakes on, and a huge rebuild of the apparent wind on that AC-75.
Let's go on to Chase Arapiti. What do you make of this?
For me, Alinghi Red Bull Racing just look a little bit more lively in this condition. In that bottom end, for INEOS, they just look vulnerable in the bottom end when they get into manoeuvres, and their inability to accelerate is costing them.
35 to the line. Really, there is a lot of different pressure on the course, huh? Bottom left or right here? Bottom right, looking upwind, still quite soft.
Don't have any speed.
Currently, INEOS Britannia are in 7 knots of wind, really struggling there for pace. Alinghi in 11. The gap is growing between Switzerland and Great Britain.
To be slightly over the line like this, with the left heel. Nice pressure here.
This is the umpire's boundary penalty, GBR, removed advantage rule.
Is that a frustrated look from Ben Aisley?
It's a concentrated look, I think, and a massive lead there to Alinghi Red Bull Racing, sailing really, really well, and possibly that slight extra area on their foils helping them in these conditions compared to the British.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.1 nautical miles.
Continue straight, a bit.
Just skimming the boundary there, the British, so little unforced error. It hasn't cost them much.
So it's Alinghi Red Bull Racing in a race for their America's Cup life that lead INEOS Britannia at the conclusion of the second leg for them, and they head up on leg number 3 upwind. And that lead to INEOS Britannia is growing.
Super nice mark rounding there from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Still need to sail the boat well here. Possibly may have lined up the British here. They'll probably sneak around the bow there without having to deviate course, but not much in that.
Right-of-way boat is Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Well, they could have actually tacked a little earlier there and really got the British fully stitched up, but
Out on the setup.
hopefully out of jail for a free card.
INEOS Britannia back at pace now to complete leg number 2 of this 6th race between them in their semi-final series of the Louis Vuitton Cup. Long way still to go. 4 legs to be completed.
Lost my trap, good trap. That boat for now, that leg. Okay, good pressure here. Boundary at 25, good on the boundary, Bless? Yeah, good pressure in front of 10. Okay. Potentially soft out of this tack though, going to attack now, pretty much.
Hard to believe a lap's gone down and we've got such a big lead. Surely after 1 lap, the British really having to dig deep now.
We've seen INEOS Britannia so strong, so fast, and just a little bit more pressure. How vulnerable do you think they are, Glenn, in slightly less wind?
They've certainly opted for a slightly smaller foil package than the Swiss, so if anything, these conditions are probably the hardest. Their small foils to hang on, lots of flat movement to keep the boat flying, so really interesting.
Well, it's not late. It's not raining, ladies and gentlemen. It is actually, they're working hard.
I do see the pressure on the top. Still see it on the left. So
let's go on the Alinghi Red Bull Racing chase boat with their coach, Petru Sibello. Petru, you must be comfortable, but also a little nervous about what the wind is doing today, but nice job so far.
Yeah, not so comfortable to be true. We had a very strong start, and we struggled in the first deck with a touchdown, which made us lose quite a bit. But then the boat handling raised up the level. The guys are doing a great job. It was the focus for us to to really make the boat handling work in these waves. You know, the wind is also should be keep dropping, and I think it's the key for the rest of the race now. Yeah, they're doing really well.
Pietro, it looks like the boys are gaining all the time. They have great pace. How surprised are you, and how pleased are you?
Yeah, it's very nice to see. I mean, we see that also INEOS is probably on their M2, so maybe they're also struggling for that today. The wind keeps dropping, and you know, in wavy condition, being powerful on the sails is the right choice. Let's see. Yeah, it's working well for the moment.
Thanks, Petros. Almost halfway.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice pressure here.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing are doing what they simply need to do. They have to win against INEOS Britannia to keep their America's Cup campaign alive. And at this particular point in time, as they complete the halfway stage of this race, they are ahead of INEOS Britannia as they round the mark and head downwind on leg number 4.
Sailing the boat really cleanly. The Swiss team, Alinghi Red Bull Racing, that's what they need to be doing. Nice, accurate, level trim in these waves. Good ride height and good comms. They've just got a bit of work to do from here.
Take this right mark, be great. Yeah, trying.
All these manoeuvres hard, Glenn, aren't they? You can't take anything for granted.
Absolutely tricky conditions to sail in, and you see from these aerial shots just how much the seaway is affecting the trajectory of both boats.
INEOS Britannia coming into the top mark to complete the halfway point in this race.
We're working away here.
Still plenty of legs left. There's still 3 legs left, and we know one mistake, one simple mistake can make the difference in these races.
Luke Parkinson, bottom right, the cycler, ocean sailor. All-round great guy, working hard.
It is. They're in light now here, but again, really good reload on this boundary. Way for now.
20 boundary here, keeping it slightly fast.
Chase zero. Peter Alinghi doing just a nice job today.
Certainly are. That second upwind was very even. It was just an extension of a boat length for Alinghi, so very evenly matched. But I think it's on the downwind that Alinghi are doing the damage. As I look at INEOS, just jibe and they touch down. I think INEOS at the bottom of this range, that's her Achilles heel.
They are just really scratching there to get the boat going. It's almost like they've got the brakes on a little bit. INEOS there look really bound up in some of this sea state.
They've lost 400 metres at the top end of this leg.
Getting really light, good preload here.
We're struggling to stop the bleed.
Yeah, short, sharp here.
With small foils possibly. Lots of flap down to try and keep the boat airborne. And the Swiss there pulling off a jibe very cleanly, and they're just extending all the time here. So being able to jibe, re-accelerate the boat, get the apparent wind to bend forward, and then actually get down to course smoothly and quickly, providing huge gains in this seaway.
Considering the performance of what we've seen over the past 3 weeks, no one would have predicted this length of a lead by Alinghi Red Bull Racing at this point in the regatta. But they are doing what they need to do. 4 legs completed by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2 more to go to keep their cup going.
Really nice rounding there in tricky conditions, and flight control there of Brian Matreau. Nicola Allard doing a really nice job in this seaway. Not an easy boat to sail. Doing it in seaway, even harder.
Pick your time to go back. 17.
Massive pressure on that young team to do not make a mistake.
Just on the bottom end there, 19 knots, bottom speed. They've managed to keep the boat on the foils. The Swiss, so very key tack for them.
Boat on the knife edge. Sailors on the knife edge.
Are they going for the same mark as us? Here.
Important job here. The British.
Very light to this bottom gate.
INEOS Britannia. Have they picked up some gains on that downward leg? They will complete leg 4 and head up for leg 5. The delta, 1 minute and 25 seconds behind. Not over yet.
This is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the leg to 0.9 nautical miles.
Nice, lads. Still in this. Breeze has come back up. Let's get dock to dock, lads. Yeah.
The Swiss there,
Yep, I've got 25.
pulling off attack, seeing a bit more pressure out that top left-hand side. The Swiss need to absolutely keep sailing the boat well here, otherwise the British will be mowing them down.
2, 1, made. Power.
Here we go. 2, 1, going board.
Feature on.
Captain 2. Here we go.
Okay, going level.
So let's go aboard the INEOS Britannia chase boat, talk to coach Rob Wilson. Just want to know what you're thinking right now, Rob.
Like the Swiss did a good job. Can't take that away from them. We had that little error in the jibe, which you know, gave them the lead, and you know they're sailing a nice race, and yeah, we've got to improve for the next one. Boys will be all over that.
Robbie, we just spoke to the Swiss coach. His thinking was perhaps that you have the small mainsail on. Is that right?
No, we haven't. No. So we've got a few options, and you know, we're pretty happy with the sail choice. But you know, we just lost a rudder in a couple of jibes, and so you know, they're sailing a good race, and it costs you, doesn't it?
You've got wins in the can, but still nervous?
I think you know, the Swiss are pushing really hard, so it's yeah, it's all on.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy transitioning 2. Okay, transition. Board down.
3, 2, 1, mate.
Turning. 1, 2, 1, going board. Bit of luck, we might make that. Okay, little increase in 5.
This is probably
1, fall down.
attack of the race here. Should pull it off with that boat speed, the Swiss. Just on the edge, and I think they're safe there. So big push there by the cyclor team. Really nice tack, good job.
Is it a good enough job to get them home? Nothing is a given in the America's Cup. Alinghi Red Bull Racing complete 5 legs. They have 1 more downward leg to go. And if they do the job, they're still going in the America's Cup.
Early tack would be the best. Push for it.
That was a great approach by Arnaud Sarafaga's new Swiss team. You came in fat, they had room to build and really save that tack.
Coming up, free light. Into chamber. What you want to hit.
The British there, if they can lay this left turn, that is a massive effort from where they were compared to where the Swiss have come from. But they are right on the edge there. The British having to tack between the gates there, not quite laying, so, and they're off the foils.
Yeah, they missed that lay line.
And Alinghi are still on the foils, so the British off the foils at the top.
And it doesn't take a thinking man to suggest that could be the moment that keeps Alinghi Red Bull Racing alive in this Louis Vuitton Cup Semi-Final Series. They're not home yet. We keep repeating over and over again. You make mistakes at this level, it becomes costly. Race defining.
Yeah, GBR just underlay. Not any room for error. Weren't making the buoy. Had to tack. We're down speed. That was the result.
Albie is frustrated as a mosquito in a shop full of mannequins.
Sorry, guys. Full take off.
Frustrating for the British.
And board. Face it.
Meanwhile, right downwind, Alinghi Red Bull Racing are going to send their supporters and shore team through the rafters. Alinghi Red Bull Racing are not going away. They've narrowed the gap. That's win number 2, and they're still going in the Louis Vuitton Cup Semi-Finals.
Gonna go left, Max. Okay, Kobe.
Fantastic
nice one, boys. Nice one.
job by Red Bull Racing there. The Alinghi team fantastically sailed. They'll be very happy with that. Apart from that first tack, they sailed a really brilliant race.
Yeah, they had a plan, didn't they, at the start, and it was well executed and great boat speed. I mean, a huge amount of confidence with this team now.
Further up, just for
Well, they pulled themselves out of trouble after that race, though, didn't they?
They certainly did. They just hung on enough, and that first jibe where the British lost their rudder, possibly the defining moment of that race.
2, 1, base.
So the race wins start to narrow for INEOS Britannia, the official challenger of record. They've still got 2 up their sleeve. They do not want to use them. We know that for sure.
Forward down here in reach. Yep. What's going down?
So we will continue racing today. INEOS Britannia still with the advantage. A little slap on the face from Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Between Alinghi Red Bull Racing and INEOS Britannia, and it's Alinghi Red Bull Racing with a 1 minute and 23-second win against Britannia. So, most importantly for Alinghi Red Bull Racing, they get another green dot. That means they are not going anywhere at this point in time.